G'day everyone. Today I wanted to do a little video on end of song embellishments. You know, when you hit the end of a song, you don't just want to finish on a chord, you want to finish on something. You wanted to finish on something a little bit more flavorful. So I'm just going to go through a couple of things that I do on certain chords just to spice it up a bit at the end. So a lot of songs finish on either, you know, your basic chords like G, C, A, D, these open-fingered chords, E. So here's a few tips on, you know, just something that you can do to spice up each one of those chords. What I often like to do when I finish on a G chord is instead of just playing straight G, I'll play it like this. Now my fingering for here is my thumb on the E string here at the G, and then here, it's kind of the top of the D chord, right? So we got a D chord, we got a D chord like that. I put my thumb on here and I just play these three here, right? And I just hammer on. And you can hit that open string there as well, so that's a real basic one where you can just go, which is nice. If you just want a real simple one, or you can ham it up a bit, you can, something like that. Any kind of variation. Right, that's a nice one. We can also take, let's say, the top of it. So we've got these two here. So what I'm doing here is I'm barring here on the 3rd fret, and I'm just hitting this one, hitting these together, these two strings together, just barring that. And then going back to this sort of D-ish shape. You gotta make sure you hit that root note somewhere in there. That's a nice one. So let's say we want to ham it up even more. We could do something like, you know, let's say we're at the end of a song. So what I'm doing there is I'm just hammering up on that shape. And there I'm going to the D, right? Going to the 5 and then to the 1, so. Alright, so that's a cool one. And when you do it a little quicker, it sounds cool. Let's say we're at the end of a song. That's a cool little riff. It's often good to finish any major. When you finish on a major chord, instead of finishing on the actual major, we can finish with a major 7. So just leaves it with that airy sound. And there's you could do some sort of arpeggio sort of stuff with that, like. So all I'm thinking there is these are G's, right? And the major 7th is one note down, 1 fret down is the major 7th sound, right? Right? Which is a really nice sound to sort of end a song with. Even if the song finishes technically in G, a G major 7th, it's still a G, it's still a major. So here's your G in bar chord. If I play the same G, instead of finishing on, I finish with such a beautiful sound. And you can embellish that even more. So let's say we're at the end of a song. We can kind of go something like, it's just one note difference to a G, right? So a good way to remember it is if we look here, that's a G, right? If we move that back 1, And then we play each string. We've got here, come up a fret, up a fret, up a string, up a fret, up a string. It's really easy to remember. So there's our G. We want to play a G major 7th. That's all it is. And we can embellish it a little bit by... I'm muting the A string there. So song finishes. It's a really nice way to finish it. And we can do that anywhere because that's obviously all barred. So let's say we're an A. And we want to finish on a A major 7th. Right? So the song is... And we want to finish with this sound. Right? If we're at a bar, so we're at... Instead of finishing with just your bar chord, here we have the A. We go back 1. There's the 7th, the major 7th. And then we do the same. 1 fret up, 1 string up, 1 fret up, 1 string up, 1 fret up, 1 string up from that A position. So if you look at it, you can immediately identify the major 7th sound just by changing one note, obviously, and your fingering as well. But incidentally, just down here, if you're playing an A open string, all we do here is, there's the A, we put it back 1. Changes the whole tone of the chord. So going back to that G chord, we can do this up here. So let's say it's an A. You know? You know, so we can do that anyway. So it's a B. We can do that anywhere. C. Let's say so we're finishing with C, and we've got the C major 7th, which is just taking your finger off the C here. That's taking it down 1. So there's a C major 7th. All right. So song finishes in C. We can use that little. Any chord you can do that with. I really like finishing on major 7th. Another way is to do like an extended arpeggio run. So let's say we're finishing in A again, right? Song finishes in A. Well, what we need to do here is identify where the A root note is from the B string. Okay, so I know that that's an A. That's an A note. And so we can build our chords off A. So let's say we do a D shape from the D chord, and we move it up to here. So our root is on the A, and we play the D chord, right? The D shape. But now we're playing an A. Now we're playing an A chord. And incidentally, you can do this on any of these. If I want to play an E, I know that that's an E. If I play the D shape here. So these notes on the B string are really important to know, because when you want to change it up, say you're finishing a song in E. Okay, well, if I know that that's an E, I can play the D shape as long as I'm playing the D shape with my finger here on the E. That's going to be an E chord. So that D shape is very important to knowing other stuff up the neck. We know that that is a D. If we move this up to, say, here, if I know that's a G, we can play that shape. Same as that. All right, so we've got that. mini arpeggio there, if we play them individually. And then if we go down, we've got the full arpeggio. So I'm just thinking, okay, there's that D shape. Oh, I know that there's a full arpeggio just based off that D shape. And the only note I needed to know was the G, the root. Everything else is a pattern. So if I just put my fingers like this, I'm basically playing a whole G chord there. And then with this fingering, and there's a full embellishment at the end of a song. Let's say, so finish in G, okay, instead of doing that, or instead of doing that, or this, I want to change it up a bit. I know, okay, I know that shape there. I just know that that's a G there. So if I do that shape, you know. And so if I know that that shape is an arpeggio here, instead of going to here, I can slide it down back into the G position here. So I can go, what do I do there? Okay, what's a bar chord in G? Okay, if I go look at the bar chord in G, what notes are there? Okay, well, what's the next note down? Well, that's the third of the G, right? From the G, we all know that position. So if I'm going, and then I'm doing the arpeggio of G, which is just every string individually on the bar chord. So if I'm up here, I can extend the arpeggio up to here. I can go here, or I can go. So that's a nice way to finish a G. We can go. Same as if we're in A. Okay, well, I know that that note there is an A. If I know that note, get to know all the notes on here. At least all the notes without sharps and flats. You don't have to remember the sharps and flats because we can know if I want to do an E flat, and I can go here because I'm looking at the E and I can go to the E flat, right? Right? So if I know that open is B, if I got C, D, E, F, G, A, that's all I need to know. Okay, so as long as I know what the notes are on the B string, I can immediately go to whatever note I want, and then I can play the chord of that note. Okay, here's a G, here's an A, playing an A chord, playing an A arpeggio. All right, that's a good way to finish. You know, often what I like to do if I finish a song like that is, let's say we finish in A, I'll go. All right, this is just an extension. Playing the sus there, like a D sus. Instead of going, I'm just going. So I'm going. That's a sort of a snazzy way to finish a song. Let's say if it was in G. I know that's the G. It's another snazzy way to finish it, right? And this is all just from knowing root notes. So if I know that's a G, and I know that that's a G, I don't need to know any other notes. I just need to know patterns. So if I know that pattern, that's why arpeggios are very important, because not only are they cool to play, but it's outlining the chord for you. And then you could finish with a major 7th, right? So anyway, I just thought I'd do a little video on a couple of different ideas for a couple of chords. You know, maybe I went into arpeggios a little bit there, but they're all sort of intertwined in embellishing chords at the end of songs. I have a bunch more, if you like, for different chords, but let me know in the comments if you'd like to see more. But I just thought that might help, you know, jazz things up. Well, not jazz things up, but spice things up at the end of songs. Thanks for watching. I'm out.